Report story. Stay back, Momo yelled, firing off rounds of cannons. Gaslighter, standing at the end of the corridor, manipulated the gasoline at his disposal, redirecting the cannon fire away from him, the cannonballs flying into different parts of the walls. Lighter started slowly walking towards the room. Momo's eyes filled with fear before turning into anger and confidence. He heard Shoto and Midoriya. I won't let you into this room, she yelled. Inside Izuku's room, the inhabitants looked towards the door, hearing the commotion outside. He's here, Aizawa said, lowering his goggles onto his eyes. Everyone stay in here. I'm going out there. Quote dot. I'm going with you, Mirio said, staring his first-year teacher down. I may not have my quirk but I can help. I am too, All Might said, standing away from Izuku's bed. Neither of you will be going. You're frail and you're quirkless, Aizawa said. Another round of cannonballs could be heard from outside the room. Sorry, sensei. I don't think you're stopping us though. He heard Midoriya, Mirio said, staring him down. Aizawa stared at the two before sighing and started heading out the room. Momo, who had been trying to defend against Lighter's advances, was blasted with a large stream of gasoline, flying back to the end of the corridor, slamming against the wall at the end. The hall was now filled with gasoline. Aizawa, Mirio and All Might ran out the room. Aizawa's eyes instantly turned red. Any more gasoline manipulation was impossible. However, Gaslighter smiled. He aimed his arm down ready to snap his fingers. Mirio, All Might, move, Aizawa yelled, aiming his scarf towards Lighter's arm, but it was too late. Lighter snapped. The gasoline in the hallway lit, causing explosions to race down at Aizawa, and Mirio jumped back, though All Might was a bit too slow, catching full force of the explosions on the ground. The air wasn't safe either, the gasoline on the walls also lighting, blowing Mirio and Aizawa back. Aizawa blinked from the light and the burning sensation of the explosions. Lighter took his chance, waterbending a stream of gasoline right into Aizawa's face. Aizawa, who was still in the air from jumping, was forced to the ground from impact. Lighter lit the gasoline, causing multiple explosions down the hallway right into Aizawa's face. Mirio stood once again, charging at Lighter, dodging and weaving around the streams. You're a strong kid, but you're burned everywhere. Quirkless, huh? You're blessed, Lighter said, letting Mirio get close, dodging a few punches from Mirio. If you weren't burned, I'd be done for. Sorry about this, Lighter said, before punching Mirio in the stomach and then clocking him in the chin. I won't use my quirk on you. You're not as cursed. The only cursed thing about you is your hero mindset of yours, Lighter said, staring down at Mirio before walking towards Izuku's room once again. After a few steps, Lighter felt a pull on his leg. He looked down to see a purple ball under his foot. Stay back, a voice cried. Lighter looked around to see a little purple-covered boy on the stairwell. Mineta, did you stay here? Aizawa said weakly, still laying on the ground. It was scary out there, Mineta yelled. But now one of my friends is hurt. You little grape, I'll skin you, Lighter said, raising his hand. Suddenly he felt a sharp burning pain on his back, along with a blue light out the corner of his eye. Promoted stories. You'll also like Captured by Love, BNHA Villain Redemption, a 135k 2.9k Izuku. Midoriya has never felt more confused. Being a villain has taught him to never get attached to anyone, because they'll either end up betraying you, or you'll be. Dream on B. K. Downwards arrow tip rightwards, in which a jealous bachelor signs a deal with the devil in order to win over the heart of his first love. Katsuki Bakugo has loved the PR. Revenge of the wronged hero who happens to be. One could have thought that someone as pure and innocent as Izuku Midoriya would be betrayed by his friends who he thought that he could trust with everything he has. Dot. Symbol of hope Izuku X hair, named weapon of a true hero. This is the old version. The new rewrite can be found in Archive of Our Own, under a new name. Red Halo heroes today are corrupted by. I hate and love you. 258K 4.6 Con. IzuOcha fanfiction where Deku and Uraraka had a fight in kindergarten which led to something worse. But maybe they can be friends or perhaps more. Non-Quirko rated. Golden, Hispanic, Latina. Femme. Reader. Ex-Izuku. Heiress to the richest company in the world. The government of Japan has good relationships with your grandfather. It was the duty of the government to save. Feel fear, my dear Sword O. Aoyama. Mineta cried. Aoyama had appeared from the other end of the hallway, though he looked tired and hurt, his side bleeding. C'est moi, he said tiredly. I came to get medical help, but I saw what was happening here and knew my twinkling was still needed. You've got the right idea. Now Mina. Another voice called. Ishido Mina and Denki Kaminari jumped through one of the windows. Kaminari aimed his finger towards Lighter, aiming multiple shots of lightning, while Mina skated towards him. We were doing patrol work near the school when we saw the commotion. Mina yelled as she roundhouse kicked Lighter, who leaned back from the force, not flying only due to his foot still being stuck to the floor. He's the real one, Mirio said weakly, trying to stand. You damned cursed hero wannabes. Lighter yelled. This damned society. I'll cleanse it. I'll cleanse it with my own curse. Lighter pulled a bullet-looking needle out of his pocket and stuck his arm with it. Mirio noticed. That That's a quirk enhancer. Move, he called. Quote dot. Isn't that a bit hypocritical? Kaminari yelled, jumping back, however it was too late. The veins in Lighter's arms pulsated. Lighter lifted his hands and gasoline came from every pipe under the dorm building's ground, along with gasoline from surrounding cars and level 0 robots in the area. Gasoline circled Lighter, creating a tornado of gasoline around him. Multiple streams of gasoline flew towards the defenders. Mina was knocked back down the hallway, landing next to Momo. Kaminari was knocked out the window, and Aoyama knocked back towards the end of the opposite hallway. Mineta was blasted through the stairs he was standing on. The sticky ball had been undone. Lighter started slowly walking towards the door once again, only for a wall of ice to appear through the hallway wall, blocking Lighter's path. Todoroki jumped through the freshly made hole in the wall. We have some unfinished business. Shoto said, shooting another wall of ice towards Lighter. Simple raised his hand. Move. One of the biggest streams of gasoline yet was launched at the ice, impacting with amazing force. Lighter clicked his fingers, sending the massive explosion down the hall. Todoroki raised his arms to defend against the explosion, however now Lighter had started running. Todoroki didn't have time to react, still healing from his frosting from earlier. Shoto was kicked right back out the hallway, into the grass outside, unconscious. Back in Izuku's room, Ochako's head was down on the mattress, right next to Izuku's body. Eri was staring outside in fear, hearing the yelling and explosions. Coco, what do we do? Eri asked, looking at Ochako. Ochako didn't move for a few seconds before slowly lifting her head. Her eyes were covered by her hair, old tear marks stained her cheeks. Ochako got up and placed a hand on Eri's head. When you see a chance, run okay. Ochako said, her eyes still not visible. Wait, Coco. What about Deku? Eri said loudly, gripping Ochako's leg. Ochako crouched down and hugged Eri. I love you, Eri. Please do as I say, okay. Ochako said before standing and walking towards the door. Ochako opened it to face the flames and tornado of gasoline. Ice shards, cannonballs, the bodies of her friends and teachers scattered everywhere. The wind coming from the gasoline tornado pushed Ochako's hair back, revealing her eyes, the eyes without light behind them. She took a breath. Izuku wouldn't want to quit now either, right? She took a cold fighting stance, awaiting her impending doom. Young Uraraka, All Might said weakly. Uraraka, move, Aizawa said, trying his hardest to get up. Ochako had not budged. She would fall fighting, just like Izuku would have. Izuku opened his eyes. He looked around. A black void, with visible streaks of different colors. The Vestige Realm. Izuku got up and rubbed his head. Last thing he remembered was Lighter. The explosion. Himiko Toga. Izuku couldn't wait here. He had to warn everyone. Izuku sat crisscross and meditated, trying to leave the realm, however it hadn't worked. Izuku opened his eyes. Why couldn't he leave? Did he? No, he couldn't have. He didn't die, did he? But there was so much more that had to be done. He had to pass on one for all, he had to save everyone. He had to live his life with Ochako. Relax, you haven't died just yet. A voice called. Izuku looked behind him. A dark-haired woman with a ponytail, a black jumpsuit, yellow gloves and a white cape stood behind him. Nana, Shimura, Izuku asked, standing up, and I can hear your voice. I wasn't able to hear you before. We have to apologize to you. We have kept you from using one for all this entire time. Nana said, a grave look on her face. Izuku's eyes widened. You kept it from me. Why? Why would you do that? People needed me. People need me now. Are you also keeping me in here? You need to let me out. Izuku yelled, anger filling him. So One for All was refusing to activate for him. The drug gave them the means to take it away, but it could have repaired itself at any time. Your connection to One for All wasn't in the best of shape. One for All isn't about brute strength. As you have been using it, you caught on to the right idea when you, or rather Uraraka, had thought up meditating. Your connection is much better. However, you still haven't pieced it together. One for All is a quirk that releases kinetic energy, along with storing other users' quirks. Nana explained. You, no matter the percentage, have been releasing all that energy at once, as if multiple explosions are happening inside your body. You haven't mastered using it as a part of you. Instead of forcefully pushing it out, you should have been guiding that energy through your arms, through your legs, through your body. Not just releasing it. We took One for All away from you to ensure you wouldn't do any more damage to your body. Any more, and potentially, you won't be able to fight at all. Then why not tell me that? Izuku yelled. He understood what Nana meant. Guide the energy through his body, not just release it. But why was this the best decision they could make? As stated before, your connection wasn't strong enough. That's why you have been meditating. So you could enter this realm and talk to us like this. However, Gaslighter and the League of Villains' plans were a surprise. Nana said, looking out at the void of darkness. Izuku calmed down. Of course they couldn't prepare for this. It was a surprise attack. So what do I do now? Izuku asked, looking up at Nana. Nana looked down at him. Nothing. I will handle things from here, she said, walking closer to Izuku. You'll handle? Izuku started asking, however Nana put a finger to his forehead. Listen, Izuku. Something big is happening behind the scenes. All for One. He's preparing something big. All Might is no longer here to save you. You need to be ready. You need to get stronger. Your connection to One for All is much stronger now. When you wake up, return to this realm. For now, rest. Before Izuku could respond, the light in his eyes left as his body collapsed. Nana looked down at the boy. She took a deep breath. Time to go. Eri was crying over Izuku's bed. Deku, what do I do? Please wake up. Please. Save me. Save us. Suddenly, Eri felt a hand on top of her head. Eri's head bolted up, staring at Izuku, who was sitting up, energy coursing through him. However, something was different. Ochako stood facing Lighter, a tornado of gasoline surrounding him. Ochako took a deep breath, ready to charge, when Izuku walked out the door. Izuku! Ochako yelled, light returning to her eyes, however she quickly noticed something was off. Izuku's hair was standing straight up, energy coursing around him. However, the energy wasn't green. It was pink. Young. Midoriya. All Might said, looking up at him, who was still on the ground. Not exactly. I see you're not doing so well, Toshinori. Izuku said. All Might's eyes grew wide. Sensei. Nana Shimura, now in Izuku's body, smiled and turned her head towards All Might. Glad to see you with my own eyes, technically. Izuku's eyes were now the deep shade of gray that Nana Shimura's had, now glowing due to One for All's activations of 100%. Ochako Uraraka. Nana said, facing Ochako. Why yes. Ochako said, slightly confused. Was this a previous user of One for All? Why were they in Izuku's body? Thank you, for watching over Izuku Midoriya. You have helped him control this power more than you realize. Now if you could please get these students and teachers to Recovery Girl. I will clean up here. Wait, are you sure you can? Ochako asked. Nana smiled. I've taken on worse. Suddenly Izuku started floating, the energy growing even more intense as the pink energy surrounded him. Young Uraraka, please have faith, All Might said to Ochako. Everything will be okay now, listen to her. Her. Ochako shook her head. Now wasn't the time. Ochako started zero-graviting as many people as she could, getting them out the building. As she did this, Nana Shimura, still in Izuku's body, faced down Gaslighter. Izuku Midoriya, you die here and now. Lighter's voice yelled from the increasing size of the gasoline tornado. The room was starting to rip apart from the sheer force. Sorry about that, I'm not exactly Izuku Midoriya. Nana Shimura said, getting into a fighting stance, still floating. Where stories live. Discover now.